Hey guys, John here with RealTruck.com. Today I want to show you how to install the Vision X Canon LED lights along with the optional snap-on protective covers onto this 2015 GMC Sierra Denali 2500. So we've got everything laid out here, guys. You can see that these come with everything you need to get them onto your truck. We have 2 pairs of lights because we're going to be putting 4 on the front of our truck. Comes with your wiring harness, your plugs for each individual light, your tools so that you can adjust the lights up and down and such, plus the lights themselves, which by the way, if you take a look, are a really good solid built light. You're not going to have to worry about getting off on a trail somewhere or something and having a stick hit this and break this housing. It's going to hold up. And it also has a universal style mount, which gives you a lot of different mounting options. You can also see here that we have the covers, the protective snap-on covers to go over these lights to help protect them when you're not needing to use them. And not only do we have the protective covers, but there's other covers available that are designed for stuff like snow, dust, and fog that you can get for these lights as well. So what we're going to do, guys, then is we're going to go ahead and mount our lights onto our light bar. And as you guys can see here, it's pretty simple to install these. You just put the bolt through and then just tighten up the nut on the bottom and that will hold them in place. So I'm going to go ahead and do that with all 4 of them, and then we'll show you how to start running wiring. So guys, we've got our lights attached to our off-road light bar. So the next thing we're going to do then is we're going to start running our wiring so that we can get these lights all wired up and working from inside the truck. So I'm going to go ahead and let this truck all the way down on the ground, and we're going to have to get under the hood here and start doing a little bit of work. So let's get to that part. So guys, we've got the truck down, we've got our lights on. The next thing we're going to do is start running our wiring. And what I'm going to do is I'm just going to remove this cover. And what that's going to do is that's going to allow us to get in here behind the grill so that we can bring all of our wiring in through the bumper and up behind the grill and out here to our battery and ultimately to the inside of the cab of the truck to wire in our switches. So let's get this off. All right, guys, we have our wiring harness. These go to our lights. These other ends here are going to go to a ground. This is going to go to the ground on your battery. This to the positive side of your battery. And this one to your switch in the cab. So let's get this wired up. Well, now we've got our wiring ran through here, and as you guys probably have noticed by now, the grill is out. It just makes it a little bit easier to get our wiring in here if we don't have the grill in the way. Really easy to take the grill out. There's just 4 bolts up here, and then it clips down here on the bottoms and on the sides, and you just pull it out, set it off to the side. So we've got that out of the way. We got our wiring ran down through here where we're going to run it. The next thing we're going to do then is we're going to go ahead and take our lights and we're going to plug them in. And the reason why we want to do that is because, as you guys can see here, we got a lot of wire here, and until we plug these lights in, we really don't know where we can go with our wire, how far we can go back towards the battery. So we're just going to take the plug-in connector, and it just simply plugs right into this one, and it's got a rubber seal and everything on it so that it keeps the water and stuff from getting in there. And we're just going to plug that in just like so, and then we're going to put it through here. And then we're going to do the same thing with our other light over here on this side. And then we're just going to take this one and we're going to plug it in right here. Now, in case you guys haven't noticed already, what we're doing here is we're going to plug these in because there's 4 lights here, and one harness will operate 2 lights. So what we're going to do then is we're going to take our lights and we're going to put our 2 outside ones on one switch and our 2 inside ones on another switch, and just make it a little more convenient and nicer when you're using this off-road. So we've got this. We're going to start pulling these wires back, get these things grounded, and then we'll run the harness in the same manner we did this one for our 2 center lights. And then I'll show you guys how to get it inside the truck and where to hook it up on the battery and stuff. So let's get that done. All right guys, we've got our wires all ran for our switches, and what we've done is we've went ahead and attached our switches to this panel that goes underneath the steering column. But what you have to do, because on this particular model of truck, we're kind of limited as to where we can put these switches. This clip that holds right here, the clip notch, we had to actually cut that out, which is not a big deal on this one because you have several more all over this panel holding it, plus you have screws that hold it in the bottom. So what we did then is just cut that out. So we're just going to put this back up in here at this point, and it's just simply getting it set back up in place and popping it back in. And then we'll go ahead and we'll reattach our screws underneath here to hold it in, and then I'll show you guys how to do the wiring on the outside. So what we've done out here, guys, then is we've taken our wiring harness for our lights and we've ran it through down on the firewall here by the wiring harness plug for the truck and ran them into our switches. Also, we went ahead and ran a hot wire, which is going to be our battery positive wire, off of the battery to our light switches inside. And we're going to hook that right onto the positive cable post here. Also, we're going to be hooking our lights with the fusible, where the fusible links are on here. We're going to hook those in there as well. And then once we have those all hooked in there, then we'll go ahead and put our nut back on top of here on our post, and then tighten this down. All right, now something else you can do, which we did with ours here, is went ahead and put a little notch in the end of this cover piece here, so that a way we can put this back on, which is going to keep all this stuff covered up and keep stuff from getting on it. So we'll go ahead and put this back on there with our notch cut out there. So what we've done then is we're going to go ahead and hook our ground wires to the negative post on our battery, and just tighten that up. So we've got our wiring hooked up on our battery, and just so you guys can see how we wired up these lights, we went ahead and plugged our lights in to the harness, ran the harness up and around here, just found a nice comfortable place for it to lay, and move it up here so it's going to be out of the way to put the grill back in. And then we have our relays here, and then we went ahead and found a ground location, as you can see right here, to attach our ground wires that come off of our lights so that we can have that grounded. So we've got all that hooked up. So what we're going to do now then is we're going to go ahead and put this grill back in, the cover back on, and then we're going to set these lights and get them in the direction we want them to be. So let's get this done. So we can go ahead and close this up. We're done under here, and we're going to go ahead and adjust and set our lights. So let's get to doing that. Set these lights. You have your Allen head wrench that comes with your light kit, and you just go ahead and put your lights where you're going to want them to be. And what I like to do when I adjust these is snug them down a little bit first, because that'll kind of help hold them, and then we can kind of move them around and get them set where we want, and then tighten them up. So I'm just going to go through here and just snug these all down a little bit. You can see that you can still move them a little bit, and we'll get these set here, and then we'll adjust them. Okay, as you guys can see here, if you look at our light spots on our cabinet, these lights are all crazy out of whack. So what we want to do is we want to get these evened up. And this one right here is pretty much right about where we're going to want it. So we're going to go ahead and tighten this one down. If you guys can kind of look at that, you can see these spots are pretty on. They're almost like, just about like a laser beam hitting that cabinet. And keep waiting for it to catch fire here. But that is one of the benefits of having an LED light. They don't get hot like an incandescent, so you can touch these lenses and they're going to stay cool, and they're not really going to set the cabinet on fire. Okay, so we've got that one. Now what we're going to do then is go to the next one, and we're going to line that beam up with the other one. I don't know how we managed to do that, but it looks like somehow we got every other one of them where they needed to be. Okay guys, we've got them all tightened up and all aimed where we want them to go. What we'll end up doing is taking this thing out at night and making some little fine-tuning adjustments on it, which is a good idea. And but there you go. That's how easy it is to install these Vision X lights on your truck. So remember, until next time, happy motoring.